Welcome once again to Money Moves, brought to you by 27/4 Investment Managers. On Money Moves, we talk about developments in the financial sector, from transformation to ownership, different services, products, and more importantly, your education and my education on how money moves and how money should work for us. Tonight, I'm joined by Akona Mlamleli from 27/4 Investment Managers to talk about transformation in the financial services sector. And Akona, pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you very much for having me, Tim.
Right. Now, 27/4 Managers has been involved in growing or bringing about transformation within the financial services sector. Broadly speaking, tell me about the activities that you've been involved in.
27/4 has been involved, as you said, in the asset management, particularly in the black asset management industry within South Africa. And what 27/4's role is within the industry is to bring awareness, first and foremost, to the internal stakeholders within the environment that we operate in, these being the pension funds, these being the asset consultants, and the next being those who are asset allocators, who give assets to the black asset managers. The other stakeholders who are involved, who we bring awareness to, is the internal stakeholders, these being you and myself, the man on the street, and just bringing awareness of what is happening within the industry, the plight of black asset managers within the industry, and how they themselves can bring about that change. So the man on the street as an individual can have opportunity to invest, be it in their retirement funds that they contribute monthly, or being in their own private savings and investments, and also the initiative that was brought to you by government being the tax-free savings account that Minister Pravin Gordhan mentioned last month in his budget speech. These are initiatives that government has demonstrated to get the public to invest. But what we are bringing into is that black asset managers have the capability and they've got the experience and the skills to manage these assets where these individuals are investing, being in their savings and in investments.
Now, question would be, and I'll work my way back to where we started, is what difference does it make? Not that one is opposed to transformation. It makes sense that there must be transformation all over the place. But what difference would a black asset manager make in the scheme of things compared to if we were to allow things to continue as they are?
Post-democracy, Tim, we have seen an emergence of black asset managers within the industry. And after post 22 years, the number has been dismal. And we're urging that the public, we as those who are involved in the industry, cannot do it by ourselves. As you'll see, there's transformation that's been talked about by government, by other stakeholders within South Africa. But we in the industry want to bring the plight of those who are making their contributions to monthly investments and savings. These are the challenges that we are facing within the industry. Yes, there may be other industries that may be facing similar transformation agendas within their own particular industry, but we just want to bring awareness and make known that those individuals and those stakeholders that I referred to earlier on are the ones that can facilitate that change and bring the demographics of South Africa that we need to change within the economic landscape.
Now, I learned that there are only about 4.4% black asset managers within the financial services sector, the insurance industry in particular.
Yes, that was given by our annual survey that we do on a monthly basis. Yes, the number is very dismal and very disappointing, Tim. However, we've seen an emergence of other asset managers who are wanting to enter this landscape. But as you said, the barriers to entry are so high. And we as 27/4 investment analysts or investment portfolio managers want to encourage South Africans and make them known, as I previously said, of the plight and that we need to change. And the 4.4% is very dismal and that we can't go on having 4.4%.
What is the size of the industry that we're talking about
It's
here?
about 6.97, let's just say 7 billion,
Seven
trillion, sorry.
trillion rand.
7 trillion rand. And of that 7 trillion, 309 billion is managed by black asset managers. And that comes up to the number that you mentioned of the 4.4%. That is dismal that we're facing at present.
Here's an argument, two arguments that can be made. One is probably there are not enough black professionals to be appointed to those positions, and maybe that's why there's a slow pace of transformation on one hand. Second question could be, maybe there are not enough contributions by black people to the insurance industry, and that is why you do not see transformation. In other words, there's no transformation in terms of the money that's invested in, as well as the number of professionals available for those positions.
I'll start with your first question, Tim. These black asset managers come from the big asset management firms.
Yes.
And when they go and start a black-owned investment firm or a black-managed investment firm, they are faced with the difficult task of trying to get seed capital.
Okay.
So when they try to get seed capital, having worked and have gained the skills, and most importantly, they've managed portfolios previously in their big stables, but when they come to manage in their own firms, trying to get that seed capital, that's where they struggle. Because first, they don't have a performance history that they can use. Yes, they've managed it in a large corporation, but the performance history, the history or the good performance that a person on the street wants to invest money, wants to see proof that you are able to manage money and you're able to deliver. So that's where the plight is, and that's where the main difficulty comes along.
Okay, but in terms of the investments made by the general population, specifically black population, I was saying the argument could be made that there's not enough money coming from the black community anyway.
There is. The black community has, particularly the black middle class. It's just those who are able to, like the big organizations, they've got big marketing budgets that are in your face, or on radio, on TV, that you're being visible to on a daily basis. These black asset management firms don't have that big budget. So they can't showcase or be big in terms of their marketing, be made aware, or making aware the individuals that want to invest. So that's where the biggest challenge lies within the industry.
I'm just imagining that, and I'm going somewhere with this point, by the way, that sometimes people think, you know, you want me to transform, do this, do that, but the same black community you're talking about does not invest. That is the point. I'm not suggesting that is the case, but it is an argument that can be made.
I would like to differ. The black people do invest, but they invest within their own community, like Stokvels.
Yes.
But I think we need to make available or to reach those individuals by education in terms of the unit trust and the tax-free savings account, which I referred to earlier on.
Let me ask about 27-4 managers.
Yes.
If you have assisted any of these emerging companies.
Yes.
Tell me.
One we'd like to claim and are very proud of is Mazi Capital. We first gave Mazi his first assets in 2009. Mazi has flourished and become such a successful black asset management firm. And that is duly because they've been able to generate that good performance I was referring to. They've been able to diversify their client base. So when I mean by diversifying client base is they've been able to attract clients that can give them money. So they're not dependent on one source of revenue. So if the client pulls out, for instance, that they're not dependent on that. And that makes a successful asset management firm, because it's so important that you are not concentrated on one pool of clients, but able to diversify those client bases. And that enables you to be successful, and also by generating good performance, and by able to also, that's important, to diversify your client product offering, not only amongst the mainstream asset managers, but also within the black asset management firm, such as hedge funds. There are not a lot of black asset management firms that have been able to penetrate that market successfully as Mazi Capital has. And that's what's made them successful. And we, with regards to our incubator program, have been able to assist them that way. Other managers who are very successful is Vunonala Asset Managers. They're at 6.7 billion rand at the moment. And that they've been able to do within the period of 5 years. So they've been able to do that in such a short period of time.
Now, there's also the problem of black women in particular within the financial services sector reaching the ceiling pretty quickly and not being allowed to break through into other positions. Land investment analysts.
Yes, that's correct.
They never get to be appointed portfolio managers and all of those. Tell me a bit more about that.
Yes, what we saw in our annual survey last year was an increase in the investment analysts post. And we're hoping by doing the survey and going forward within the years that these investment analysts, by gaining the experience and gaining the foundation for managing assets, that they're able to graduate into that portfolio management field. The portfolio management role of being able to make those pivotal decisions of where the money should go, those investment decisions that a lot of black people aren't given that opportunity at the moment. But we have seen a gradual increase in that investment analyst, and we're hoping within the few years that we're doing the survey, that number of portfolio managers of black female representation will increase.
What questions, as members of the public, should we ask of the financial institutions when we do business with them, in terms of transformation? What are the typical questions that we should ask, or information we should require from them, just to check the levels of transformation within the specific companies?
The first most visible and most easy way to check is with regards to the BEE ratings. By checking by those, whether they are level 3, 2, or 1, you're able to see where the transformation is taking place. So you can ask for your company for a BEE certificate, where you can see the ownership structure, where you can see the various tools that the organization are doing in the form of transformation. So the man on the street, when they invest, they should ask questions. Yes, my money is going to a so-and-so company, but is that company transformation? Or in putting transformation within the industry that I would like to see within the South Africa in total as an industry and as a country, and show the demographics that we need to see within the South African context.
So we can help make a difference, right?
No, and you have the power to make the difference. And that's the most important, and that's the most pivotal, that you do have the power to make the difference. You yourself must just do the research and not just give your money or investments to anybody, but take that conscious decision to educate yourself. And there are many facilities that we at 274 have, particularly, that assists the man on the street and educating him of the funds that are available and of black asset managers that are available.
Akona, thank you very much for talking to us. Very passionate about transformation, as you can hear, but also very concerning. Only 4.4% of assets are under black management in the country, out of the 7 trillion rands or so that is available, especially in the assurance industry. So again, an issue that is rearing its head and should in South Africa, and you and I can help make a difference in bringing about this transformation. Money Moves here on Tonight with Tim Modise, brought to you by 274 Investment Managers.